Lady, the problem isn't in my pants. Mex-Men.
They're in the middle of getting rid of all their bald fucks, you know?
I guess that's important.
First, they got rid of Xavier. Now they're getting rid of... Then they got rid of Uatu. And then, unbeknownst to him, getting rid of Bendis.
Like, the big ones that changed the status quo of the Marvel Universe, I feel like those are important. Like, Black Vortex and stuff like that. Like, those are big deals. Whereas Original Sin...
What? Black Vortex wasn't a big deal?
Flame Wings, big deal.
Almost everybody who got a power was like, all right, well, I'll give it back to the Black Vortex now, because it turned, like, it was like, the Vortex will change you irreparably, and it's like, Iceman's like, I'm gay. and fucking Angel's like, you know what? There was almost nothing special about me before these Flame Wings. I think I'm gonna hold on to him. He's, like, what?
Too many jokes there, man. Iceman's gay, Angel's a flamer. He's keeping it.
Welcome to this issue of Mex-Men. I'm Tony.
I'm Justin.
I'm Devin.
And today we're going to be going over the X-Men storyline of Original Sin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking right at you.
Alright, so no. Alright. Getting right to it.
No banter?
No banter, no foreplay?
All new 30.
Just
no.
Shoving it right in, not even rubbing the tip on it.
It's like you don't even read my messages.
He doesn't get them. He doesn't get notifications.
Well, see, I was reading Original Sin, so I thought that was for the next week.
So what we're doing, we're covering Uncanny X-Men issues 23, 24, and 25, and all new 30. But we're going to do it a little weird because all new 30 actually takes place right in the middle of 24.
Yeah, and this storyline is the last will and testament of Charles Xavier.
There's a couple of things I did want to talk about that's weird. Alright, so it starts with 1 year ago, and Skrulls be there.
Yeah.
Attacking. So the Skrull invasion was only a year before all this? Everything from the Skrull invasion onward, Dark Reign, fucking the whole Utopia thing up to AVX, like, it's all within a year?
Well, that was like 4 or 5 years in time, right?
That
in
makes
real
sense.
time.
That's just so much shit to be going on. Like, so much global bullshit.
Yeah, but if you think about it, they started when they're like 17, and they've been around for 60 years.
So, like, Norman Osborn is in power for, like, what, a month?
It was like an hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
It was a power hour there.
Oh, man.
He formed that team real quick, and I just assume that a year in Marvel is like 700 days at least.
Yeah. And
Yeah?
each day is like, the world's about to get blown up.
Yeah, each day is 45 hours, except when you need it to be night real quick.
And then that night lasts for, like, 3 days.
Yeah, or an hour.
It's Alaska.
It's every time a shift in daylight happens, they flip a coin, and or they roll a die, and that's how long it's gonna be.
Apparently, by the way, because he was just saying it's Alaska, that made me think of, we were looking up black people in Alaska yesterday when I was recording with Robert. And apparently, if you're black and in Alaska, you look Mexican.
Yeah, but they get a lot of sun, though. Sometimes.
I guess.
Yeah, they got the continuous day.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably inside for a lot of that.
Yeah, it's freezing cold.
Well, it's like, me personally, I look completely white half the year, and then the sun comes out, and my skin changes like 5 shades darker.
Yeah. Chameleon.
Yeah. When I was working at my last job, I'd have to drive around a lot. Mm-hmm. So, like, I wore a short sleeve shirt for a while.
Yeah.
And it got, like, real tan on my forearm. And then I quit the job, and I wore tank tops a lot. So it tanned unevenly, and I looked like Neapolitan ice cream.
Yeah,
so
like sort of melted.
Yeah, where it was just dark as shit, like, kind of red, and then white.
Yeah. Well, gross.
Gross. How dare you shame me for my skin color?
No, the same thing happens to me.
Yeah, when you're driving, you got your arm in the window, kind of, and that one gets tan.
Yep.
All right, so Uncanny 23. We're introduced to Matthew Malloy, who is arguing about his wife is just like, you just don't understand bed and breakfasts. You don't bring a computer to a bed and breakfast. It defeats the purpose.
It's not a bed, breakfast, and computer.
Yeah.
It's just bed and breakfast. We're not allowed to do anything else here.
And Matt is just like, come on, I only check emails when you're asleep.
Do you know this guy intimately?
Yeah. He's just like, I don't see what the deal is, and I do not want to go on this walk with you if, which is also weird. It looked like she was storming out over this, but it turns out they were actually supposed to be walking in the same direction.
Yeah, she's just faster than him.
And then they started, right? She ends up so far further down the road than him. And Matt's just like, I don't understand what any of this has to do with anything. And she goes, evaporation by laser beam because Skrulls attack.
That's a bold move to pull in an argument too.
Yeah.
that's a conversation winner.
Yeah, there's no comebacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had talked to him beforehand. If I'm about to lose this conversation, zap me.
The last thing I'll ever do is lose this goddamn conversation.
Oh, man. And you see, a Skrull is, up top of rubble with a gun. He's shooting, and he looks over at Matthew, and he's like, I'm going to kill you. And then he gets his head blown off. And then suddenly there's, an alert, and it's like Captain America is like, Shield, Avengers, stop the Skrulls, or whatever. And you realize, and this is all a year ago from current time, and you realize, okay, so this is the Skrull War. And that leads to my confusion of so fuck, everything happened in 1 year. That's crazy.
So you'll be able to back me up on this, but you know Cyanide and Happiness?
Yeah.
All right. So the sun, when it shows him zoomed out, and it shows the sun and there's clouds, it looks like a guy from Cyanide and Happiness hiding behind a wall.
Oh. I'm missing what you're saying. Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting.
Okay.
It is. I've actually never heard of that, so.
It's that Batman thing we showed you last week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was funny. I actually showed Cameron that. He was cracking up.
So, yeah. And then cut to Jennifer Walters, a.k.a. She-Hulk.
Skrull.
And
that's green racism.
Oh.
And she's delivered a package by Scott Summers in short shorts.
Well, because as we went over last time, or a couple weeks ago, every white guy is just Scott Summers.
This is
every
90s.
white guy with glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is 90s Scott Summers here. I'd be surprised if those aren't jean shorts.
I mean, you understand the nickname Slim from this man's
It's talking
physique.
about his thighs.
Yeah, so she signs for a package, and then cut to Dazzler and Emma, Magic, and Magneto. They're all on Madripoor.
Yep. It looks like though that they're in the training area in Kami's Lookout.
Oh,
from
right.
Dragon Ball, because it's all just white tiles.
They're in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't remember that.
That's fine. I couldn't remember the word justification earlier. So they're there, and they're like, hey, to Dazzler. The team's like, hey, we don't know, we can't just find her. You do know she, turns into people, right?
It's kind of why you're mad at her.
She's gonna turn into you, you know? And she freaks out, and Emma is like, what? You don't believe, you don't want me to find her? You just want me to give up? You don't believe in... And Emma's like, hey, you should be mad. This makes sense. And we want to see you beat the blue off her. It's just, come on. We can't find her. We don't even know she's here. And Magneto's like, yeah, she has no reason to be here. She knows we're looking for her. She knows S.H.I.E.L.D.'s looking for her. She's deep in hiding. And even Magic is like, look, I have some spells that can turn people who are, shape-shifted into other, into their true form. But, we got to know she's here.
Yeah, I can't just do it on the world.
Yeah. And she, everyone's actually trying to be supportive, and then Dazzler just freaks the fuck out. And just just solar flares everybody.
Yeah, she pulls a Krillin.
In the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, which he never could cut it in there.
So yeah, they went that trip, like just sort of a bust, like, which is weird. Like they even went to Madripoor in the first place if they were just going to be like, she's not here.
Yeah,
but I guess to appease Alice.
That's what it seemed like, just to make her happy. Like, look, we're here. They just got off the plane or the magic bus, and look, she's not here. Let's leave.
Like it's an easy trip to make with magic, just popping it out.
Yeah.
And then cut back to, over to rather than back to, Scott Summers just feeling real bad about killing Xavier.
You say Scott Summers?
Scott Summers.
Scott Summers. So, at this point in the story, we're going back to Scott Summers.
Douche. Yeah, we go back to Scott
I'm sorry
Summers.
if I hurt your feelings.
Fucking asshole, man.
Scott should have said daddy at this point.
He's haunted by the memories of killing Xavier. And he did say, "You're not my dad."
No, he said, "You're not my father." That's what I'm saying, because he's like, "Cut it out now, son." So, "You're not my father." Should have said daddy.
Yeah.
You would have got to him then.
You ain't my daddy.
That's Magneto. Marvel decided.
Xavier's eyes would have widened.
I'm daddy. I'm everybody's daddy.
Which, fun fact,
Onslaught.
Right? What year calendar is that? Is that this current one that you had brought up before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fun fact, Marvel's character for Father's Day on their calendar is Magneto.
Yeah. My argument was, hey, how about like Luke Cage or somebody who's a good father?
Yeah, his only kid died. I mean, it's not like it was his fault, but no longer living.
Yeah. Or Scott Lang. Scott Lang would have been a good dad to put
I guess
in
in his defense, Magneto's even dad to kids who ain't his kids.
True. I guess he could be daddy of the year. He's Toad's daddy.
And Blob's daddy.
Alright, so maybe
that's why they're a brotherhood. They're all brothers. He's their daddy.
So, I mean, he's clearly kind of tortured over the memory of having killed Xavier. And then Ava appears, and she's like, Ava walks in, and she's like, "Hey, Scott, you alright?" And he's like, "I'm cool." And she's like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Do you finally have the courage to tell me what happened to you?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" He's like,
Can you pick one different tone to change between on your voice right now? Because you are riding the dick of that one tone.
He's like, "You've aged years in just the weeks I've known you."
The first guy to fucking say this.
Yeah.
The whole time everyone's been like, "You look kind of different."
You were like 19 when you left, and you're 37 right now.
Only person to say
I mean, just obviously, too, her hair was super short, and now it's long. Like, that's a giant change.
I mean, that doesn't mean years.
I wonder if she wore those same clothes though the entire time.
And she's just like, wait, I'm not aging. Like, that's a weird thing to just say. Like, you're not aging? Everyone's aging.
Nuh-uh. It's like when somebody tells you that this is a picture of them when they were younger. You're like, yeah, that's how pictures work.
No, this is a picture of me when I'm older.
Yeah. This is a picture of me right now. It updates as we're speaking.
So, yeah. She's like, "What are you talking about?" And Scott tells her that the Cuckoos read her mind.
So he didn't even know.
And told him. What do you mean?
He didn't even know she aged years. The Cuckoos read her mind. Nobody looked at her and knew.
I guess that's one way of seeing it. But
he might have been like, "That's weird. She looks a lot older right now."
But the Cuckoos told him what happened.
It's like, I think I said it a couple weeks ago. It's like when a girl gets her hair cut or something. I never point it out because I don't know if that happened forever ago and I just didn't notice it.
Right.
So I usually don't end up saying anything until they yell at me.
So bring it up.
That's kind of what he did. He was like, "I think she's older, but maybe she's always been older." And I don't want to point it out now because now I look like an asshole at this point.
Maybe he's like, "Wait,
Kitty yelled at me last
is this
time.
okay? Yeah, is this okay now?"
It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
she was 19 like a week ago, which makes it a little weird, but now she's 24. doing math.
Yeah, he does say too. When she asks him how he is, and he's like, "Oh, I mean, I had nano sentinels in me in our last adventure, and that kind of sucked. So, that my disposition is due to that. So that just happened for them, which means because that actually is a weird timeline thing to me, because they also just dealt with what's their faces all over again, the future Brotherhood.
Yeah, for the 500th time.
And then also they had to have done the No More Humans thing. And for him, this is the last adventure. Like, it's so weird how shitty the continuity is in this exact moment, but then later, the continuity is perfect between All New 30 and issue 24.
Yeah, I think it's just this is a weird time right now because everything is, flying out.
You're so busy.
There's so much shit coming out right now. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think at this point that both the X-Men books were bi-monthly. So that's 4 X-Men books that Bendis has to put out a month.
Yeah, because, when we see, and we're going to get to it just next, but at the Jean Grey School, there's still wrecked Sentinels everywhere. Like, that shit all just happened, apparently.
I'd like to think that it was from weeks ago, but they didn't give a shit to clean it up.
Or maybe that's the one weird continuity thing, that All New with the Brotherhood happens, and then No More Mutants happens, and then technically the shit that we covered with Dark Beast happens directly after that. And it's just a weird...
Yeah.
It syncs weird. Anyway, so he's like... Scott to Ava is like, well, the Cuckoos told me what happened, and I was just wondering if you've gotten the courage to tell me now. And she's like, what? They just told you? Because she did tell them, hey, don't say anything. I know you know. And they were just like, fuck you. You don't know. I'm the bitchy one. Because I think it was Celeste.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to tell.
Yeah.
Pick anybody but the blonde one.
Yeah, and at that point, there was only one blonde one.
Which that just goes along with your natural instincts of not trusting the blonde one.
Kind of. I have reason. So he's like, just let me, basically telling her, I was waiting for you to be ready to tell me what happened, even though I know what happened. And he's like, you know what? I was wondering why everyone thought you were so polarizing when I thought you were so interesting. And now I see why no one likes you. And, storms off. And I didn't understand that a little bit. Because,
she didn't want to talk about it.
But, clearly it's a problem. I don't know. It's weird. And they didn't they almost talk about it previously?
Yeah, but if there's anything I know about somebody who has an issue that they don't want to talk about, they get pretty mad at people when they bring it up.
Yeah. She was actually, touching his arm and stuff. Can I get you something? She was, coming on to him, which she was doing beforehand. And now she's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
I see why people don't like you. You ask them about their problems.
You caring son of a bitch.
And then he was like, wait, sit. Why am I yelling? That doesn't work. That never works.
He learned that from Xavier.
The yelling or the giving up?
The yelling.
Okay.
The yelling after people when they're leaving.
Well, usually he's yelling after Wolverine, and Wolverine just storms off anyway, so...
He's normally yelling, for Jean to bring him a soda or something like that.
Jean! Jean! The game's on! I can't move! Jean!
A picture of he's like the drunk dad in his lazy boy chair.
But, no, he's always doing it with, the double fists, arms out, up, Jean!
Now
that's where Scott learned it. The flexing the pecs while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, though, Magneto for a fact, when they're sitting just watching sports or something, he floats the can of beer over to him and then puts his hand over the can of beer but does not open it with his fingers and just cracks the tab with his powers.
Wait, isn't aluminum not magnetic?
His powers kind of are just any metal. It doesn't matter if they're actually magnetic.
But wouldn't that be hilarious, though, if he couldn't do that? He couldn't relax. He tried, and it's and the Coke just won't budge out of the cooler.
Or just explodes every time. He's got too much power for the can.
Because he's shaking it the whole time. But, I've seen him throw change, so...
Yeah. He cheats.
Yeah. It's just any metal. Your powers aren't based on magnetism.
in Age of Apocalypse... Yeah, Age of Apocalypse, the movie, he is just straight up floating dirt.
Yeah, the iron.
So,
Well, and also X-Men 2. He pulls the iron out of somebody's blood, so...
yeah. Because magnets. That's how magnets work.
Stop referencing ICP!
No, they don't know how magnets work. I did the opposite. I just explained how they did. Magneto.
One word answer right there.
Yeah. Do you... Like, you're in science class, and you're like, do you even read X-Men?
Alright, so anyway, She-Hulk is just Hulk jumping to the Jean Grey school next.
Good lord.
Yeah, do you think she got there in one jump? Or is that, like, the whole way, like, from her office in New York City to Westchester, there's just craters of her jumping back and forth?
Yeah, probably.
I actually read something where she first started to do those jumps. Like, she didn't do it. You know how Hulk's always super jumping far away? She's like, oh, shit. This is pretty cool. You just jump from one place to another.
Except you fuck up and, like, some kid walks right under you and isn't looking. And now you've murdered a child.
Well, I always found the idea funny that, like, somebody has, like, flight or super jumping, but they don't have, like, a superhero's durability, so they land and their legs just shoot through their body.
I'm imagining sort of like that guy, the speed guy in The Boys, when he's just running and he accidentally obliterates that guy's girlfriend, and he's just like, what the fuck?
Just holding her hands.
I gotta go. I gotta keep going. It's my bad. And just Dip's like, what the fuck?
Bobby's kind of like that. DaCosta. Super strong, not durable, though.
Yeah. Like, he'll break your face, but then also his arms obliterated by the power of the punch.
It's just, you have to have, like, a real good amount of durability for any powers to work. Like, can you imagine Cyclops using his optic blast and it shoots his head right off his body?
It just explodes it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We gotta get to the worst X-Men.
We will.
Cause that's
I'll put it as episode 74.
Okay. All right. So anyway, she gets there and she's like, "Holy crap! This place it looks like a war zone." And they're like, "Yeah, cause Sentinels, you know."
The way my phone's cracked, it looks like she has a mustache.
Anyway, so She-Hulk's like, "All right, well, I need you guys all in one spot, so I can tell you that we still need to go get more people." Basically, like, they all get into a room so she can be like, "So I got Xavier's will. There's not enough of you," and they're all like, "Fuck, we gotta go get Scott." So back in fucking Canada, the X team there, Magneto, Dazzler, Magic, and Emma, they all get back from Madripoor. Dazzler super mad because she didn't find Mystique and couldn't beat the shit out of her. And somehow her clothes are ripped even more. Like, I don't understand, how is her shield suit just getting ripped?
Because she's so mad, but, like, doesn't have a stress ball, so she's just pulling her,
tearing her own clothes.
Like, have you seen the clip that is going around from AEW? Because they're doing this whole storyline of Jericho is mad at, like, Tyson because they got Mike Tyson in there.
Oh.
And Mike Tyson, during one of these promos, he goes to rip a shirt, but the shirt is just not cooperating. So it takes him, like, a good minute to keep pulling at the shirt to, like, get it off.
Wow.
All the comments are like, I'd rather see Tyson for a shirt more.
Oh, man, it's just making me think of all the Mike Tyson memes. You see the Mike Bison?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
It's a bison with Mike Tyson's face superimposed into it. It's
I like all the movie posters they make of him where it's like his face on the poster for Saw and it says coming soon, Thaw.
Alright, so anyway, they return and immediately there's more hating on Scott. Where he's just like, "Hey guys," and everyone's basically, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." Dazzler is mad. She storms off. Emma goes over to him because he's like, "So I guess you guys didn't find Mystique?" And they're like, "Well, she turns into people, so fuck you."
It's a
No, we
little
didn't.
difficult.
Yeah. And she's like, "Maybe you." He asked if he should go talk to Dazzler, and right away, Magic and Emma are like, "No, because you're not the best. But also, he was like early on in the series was just commended for how great a guy he is when he went to talk to Magic when she was having a hard time.
I thought that was kind of false. He normally seems to be pretty good at talking to people like that. He's not good at giving like a big speech sometimes.
Or
sometimes
training.
He is. See, I'd argue that too. It's kind of the writer, yeah.
He's not good at not using powers while training when he doesn't want you to use powers.
And he's not good at training you in using your powers. He's just good at training you in not using your powers.
Yeah.
He's such a sulker that he's good at talking to people one-on-one because he's normally not explaining his own feelings until it's that one-on-one time.
It's like, I see you're being a sad boy. From my expertise.
I'm a sad boy as well.
Sad boy, I've been there.
You may not know even though you saw me sitting on that cliff for 45 minutes this morning.
Every day I watch the sunrise and I'm just sad. And then every night I watch it go back down.
I have my 10,000 hours of brooding time.
He's a
to clock him.
So anyway, he's like, all right, well, then I'm not going to talk to them. And Emma's like, how about what you focus on is going over to Hijack there and thank him and welcome him back and admit you were wrong for ever dismissing him from the team because he's the one who just came out of nowhere and saved our ass against all those Sentinels. And he was like, all right, I guess. And he's like, hey, Magneto, are you like gonna chill or you out of here? And he's like, fuck off, see your students. And leave.
Smoke pellet? Just gone.
Well, yeah, because they're like, you haven't even done that yet. And what's it been, an issue? Like
You
one
basic-
issue?
Yeah.
He's like, Jesus, Emma, it's been half an issue.
I mean, technically, all humans disappeared and came back during that time, but it's kind of been one issue.
Yeah. And that's why I think it happened before. Like, it had to have. That just seemed like too big of an event that if it's, canon at all, then chronologically it couldn't have happened after the fight with Beast. I mean, even just looking at the campus of the school, right? When they had all the refugees, there weren't a bunch of metal bodies everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I take it as canon, but it's kind of hard to place chronologically. Just because it's a graphic novel and not actually taking place in the stories.
And different writer.
Yeah.
When, like, one guy was basically writing all the X stuff.
Yeah, fucking Mike.
They just gave him kind of like the standards. Like, this is what's going on now. Make a story.
Yeah. So then Scott goes over to Hijack and is like, hey, man, I just got to say, and then Hijack cuts him off and he's like, you were right. I was an asshole. I do that. I'm an asshole sometimes.
Another Cyclops was right.
But what's the count? Are we keeping a tally?
We're at 4. Including just members of X-Men teams.
Yeah.
Not including that book you were in.
Huh?
You were on the news on Ann Arbor.
That guy?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Hijack is like, look, you were right that I should have been off the team. I fucked up. But also you were right that I should have ever been part of the team, and I want to be a part of it. And Scott's like, yeah, but also I was wrong. Shouldn't have treated you that way.
Just this once.
And you turned out, I mean, you're stronger than either of us could imagine. And, like, he's like, yeah, that kind of scares me, and I need your help. And so they shake hands, like, yeah, all right, the one guy who's not hating me right now. I think I'm digging this.
This guy knows what's up. He said I was right twice.
And then I think it's Celeste shows up and he's like, hey, so what are we going to do about the fucking pop star freaking out in the bathroom going super punk? And cut to Dazzler.
She's
just
robbing
like,
daggers now.
She's just like tearing more of her clothes and like wearing so much mascara. It's just all bleeding and she's just like, I'm done with my past.
I like to think that it's way less metal than that. I think she just like put on one regular layer, but she keeps crying, so she has to keep reapplying it, but keeps crying.
But she just seems so angry. So
Yeah,
like,
like
it barely
Angry
shows
cry.
she's crying.
She seems like an angry crier to me.
Yeah,
That's
but
what it
no
looks
tears.
like. But I'm guessing she didn't even cry. She just drew the mascara on like that.
She has like an
For
outline.
dramatic effect.
She looks like her own ghost in this scene.
Yeah.
Because it cuts to, like, she's like Dazzler, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she doesn't look like she's wearing that much mascara.
And
Like,
what's-
so where'd it come from?
What's crazy though? They have such a nice bathroom.
Yeah.
Such a nice. They all have shitty bedrooms, but such an amazingly nice bathroom.
I mean,
Well,
have
because
you-
that bathroom's meant for like 17 people.
Have you seen Magneto on HGTV?
This old house. Although I have to point out, as far as Dazzler is considered, that's not a lot of eye makeup.
No.
She usually has the 2 huge blue lines.
Yeah. But apparently she was just super mad at ever being a pop star. Because she's like thinking back to...
I was happy once.
But she was thinking...
Stupid.
Joint shield. Fuck, why did I do that? Stupid Mystique. Anyway, Matthew explodes.
That sounds like a 90s alternative band.
Yeah, so it goes back to Matthew, and you see him from a year when he's first introduced, and his wife evaporates while arguing with him.
For one whole year, he's just been walking around sad, blowing shit up.
and so a woman sees him, and she's like, Matthew, oh my god, I can't believe it's you. And you find out from like the dialogue that it's his sister-in-law, and she's like, no, you need to stay with us, you gotta talk to us. And he's like, hey, wanna know what happened to your sister? And then it explodes. And then cut back to the Jean Grey school, and that's when they're like, we need to go get Cyclops.
Oh, I thought it was Iceman being like, yo, I was one of the 05. I'd get like 20%, right?
What? Oh, you're talking about
first
the
thing's
will?
like, so what's in the will?
Yeah.
It's like, what'd he leave me?
Yeah. She-Hulk reveals that she hasn't opened the will and won't open it until all parties are in attendance that are required. So.
And then she just takes Xavier's chair in the mansion.
Yeah.
She's rolling her around like a pitbull.
Now into issue 24. Bobby be mad. He's so mad now. And he's just like, you know what? I can't even take this. We act like we just keep ourselves so busy and don't even mourn our dead. And it's like, we're just moving on in these walls that Xavier provided. Which, like, also, no. Because I think we established pretty early on, Xavier was cheap as fuck and kept making really shitty houses. And this was one
These
built by
wolves kept
Wolverine.
coming by and blowing it over.
Yeah, this is a completely different mansion that Wolverine paid for and Beast built. Like, Xavier had almost nothing to do with it.
Yeah, they just slapped his name on it.
Yeah. Didn't even do that. They slapped Jean's name on it.
Oh, yeah, Cyclops has the...
Xavier School.
Yeah.
In the mutant torture chamber. That's fitting.
So he bails. He's all like, I can't take this. And he ice slides out the front door, it looks like.
I know. That's such a cool way to exit any room, though.
Yeah, but it's like they're obviously like in some giant study, and he just like cut to... Like he could have just... It would have been more dramatic if he left out the window. And he's like, nah, I'm going to take the front door.
What's funny to me, though, is he had to have built up momentum at some point. So, you know, he was like sliding like when you are on when you're on hardwood floor and you got socks on. So he's sliding like that and then made like a nice slide.
Yeah, because he goes like straight up almost.
Yeah.
I like how She-Hulk's just like, yeah, so can we get back to this now? Like awkwardly, like after the ice dude slides out of the front door.
And then Beast is like, well, Storm's like, well, we don't even know where he is, I think, because she asked, like, does anybody, She-Hulk asks, does anybody know where Cyclops is? And then Beast is like, I do. And there's like a whole kind of argument between Beast and Storm, like, but you do? And he's like, I got shit that detects mutants, bro.
Yeah. Of course I do.
Just didn't want to look at him.
Got cameras in his bedroom.
I bet you he just guessed and sent everybody there.
I don't want to see that guy.
They landed and he's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. And he's like, I just don't want my life to be dictated anymore by that person. Don't you, like he's looking at She-Hulk, don't you have someone in your life that you wish that like just wasn't in it? And she's like, I don't know.
Also,
I feel like you're projecting, man.
Poor Firestar, because they're always giving her shit. They have the line that, do you have somebody in your life that you just do not want in your life? And she's like, hi, guys.
Right? Yeah, and basically, like, all the mutants of the school are just starting to show up now. Like, Firestar and Nightcrawler show up, and Nightcrawler's all like, oh, damn, She-Hulk, you sexy.
Nightcrawler. He said the same thing to Firestar, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he just got back from heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
He didn't even go in.
And he's got no idea where his sister is.
I think Beast was such a creep, though. He's like, he can hide from the world, but he can't hide from me.
Yeah. It's just, he's also, like, glossing over the fact that, like, the Watcher just called him a bitch.
Yeah. He doesn't want to think
He's not
about
going
it.
to mention that. No.
Yeah. He's like, everything is Scott's fault. So, I don't want to even be around that guy.
But She-Hulk hits Nightcrawler with that little diss, too. Because he's, like, hits on her. He's like, oh, you say that to all the Hulks.
Oh.
Yeah. That was funny. I like to think that he's like, how did she know?
Fuck.
Damn Bruce can't keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, and Wolverine enters, and he's like, because they asked what could even be in the will. Xavier owned the school, like, so right away, Storm brings up the fact that, you know, what is there to really bestow? And Wolverine's like, nope, I don't own it. Gave it back to Chuck.
He's so calm about the stupidest shit.
He's so calm this entire time.
He's like, yeah, I don't own the house we have. So what if we're all going to be homeless?
He's just drinking a beer like, yeah, man, I gave it to Charles. And they're like, so we got to find out who's even going to own the school. Because obviously he's passing it to somebody.
Before this whole story, Wolverine smoked a shit ton of weed. He's just so calm.
That looks like a Diet Cola to me, man. That's
No,
a Diet
it's
Coke
not.
right there. It's not caffeine free.
That's
Oh.
obviously a Miller Lite.
And I love,
Pure white can.
Insulted Wolverine.
I love too that it's because it gets brought up. I think, you know, why the disdain for Scott and everything. Because right away they're like, oh shit, he gave Scott the school. Like as soon as they're like, oh wait, Wolverine doesn't own the school. He gave it to Xavier. Fuck, he gave it to Cyclops.
Yeah.
He gave it to Cyclops.
He was his favorite.
And what's your face? Rachel, she walks in the room at one point and she's like, oh shit, Xavier's will? Oh, because she was like, I also knew.
Yeah.
Because Storm, when she was surprised that Beast knew where Scott was, and she's like, who else knows? And then Rachel's just like, me, but
So
you
don't
know,
a lot of people
telepath,
know?
and I'm
It's
nosy.
like fought there?
No, they didn't fight there.
Where were they fighting the Brotherhood? On that
That-
island.
That was a separate place.
Oh, okay.
The Uncanny team popped up wherever they were needed or wanted to be. The Brotherhood found them there, but that was in the All New book, so that was still just between All New and Uncanny. All the Wolverine and the X-Men staff, like characters, have no idea. Well, apparently, except for Beast and Rachel.
Yeah, because I thought they took, when Scott and young Scott and Jean took the boat there.
Oh, I don't think they took it straight there. I think, yeah, that was like a side place, and they went to pick them up.
Oh, okay.
Like, they made the call out, and then Magic bust them over.
That makes sense.
There's no islands in Canada. It's too cold.
True.
All the water's frozen.
It's definitely a different location, yeah. It was not in some snowy mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you saw an island and you're like, that must be the wilderness of Canada.
So, anyway, it comes up, like, I think by She-Hulk, like, well, how did this even happen? Like, this whole dynamic with Scott and Xavier dying. Because she also asked, like, before she even did the will, she's like, so I just gotta ask, is he, like, dead? I mean, because you have the X-Men. So, like, is he, like, for real dead?
Is he like, dead?
Yeah.
Or is he like, X-Men dead?
And, like, Storm's kind of offended, and Beast is like, actually, she's got a point.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's a fair question. And Storm's like, fair question? You fucking... He's like, dude, you know us.
Yeah.
How many times Jean die already?
It's pretty much all she does.
So, Rachel's like, oh, it's kind of complicated. And Scott killed him by, like, being possessed by the Phoenix. And Beast's like, it's not complicated at all. You just murdered him. It's like a whole... Yeah. It's like showing kind of like a split still between, like, who's sort of on Scott's side of, like, whether he was in control or not, and other people.
Yeah, because Rachel, at this point, didn't she already help him, or was that later, where she gives a hand to Scott?
She helped Scott during the AVX stuff, but that was before the whole Dark Phoenix part. Because all the X-Men banned against the Dark Phoenix Cyclops.
And it's fucked up that Beast is like always like, oh, it's Scott's fault. But like Jean blowing up that planet, that wasn't her.
Well, she blew up the sun.
Everybody.
The sun blew up the planet.
That's how everybody acts. Like it wasn't Jean's fault, but this is definitely Scott's fault.
Yeah, it's like when Batman throws somebody off a roof. He didn't kill him. It was gravity.
Yeah. Anyway, so it goes over to Wolverine, and he's like, all right, it's time to be done with Summers once and for all. And he shows just how strong he is. He smashes a can.
It's like I knew kids in like elementary school that could do that on their forehead.
He was just like, fuck magnets. Crunch.
That would be funny if Magneto was like, fuck you, and just made the can re-explode.
You can't crush the can.
Yeah, it's just like, oh.
And then the story cuts to Matthew in a giant crater and dust everywhere, like trying to figure out what happened. And then Maria Hill in Wall-E shows up, and it's just like a projection of her head. And he's like really disoriented, like what's going on? And she's like, "Hey, do you do this?"
You look like a psychopath. He's like, a little bit.
We found an important thing though. You know how they say like roaches are impervious to nuclear stuff? So are SpaghettiOs apparently.
Yeah. At first reading this, I thought that he would, because I just kind of glossed over this part. I thought he was in the desert wandering, and he was hungry, so he manifested a name brand can of SpaghettiOs.
He's like, you know, it'd be really good right now.
Yeah. He's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to make a microwave and an outlet now and a source of electricity.
And then he's gonna be like, ah, shit, I need a bowl because I can't put this aluminum can in the microwave.
It's too hot.
Because he blew up, he made a huge crater, and the only thing there is SpaghettiOs.
I like the dialogue, though. I like when she's questioning and she's like, what's your... And then she's like, kind of changes, like, wait, are you just power? Like, are you power? Like, because he just explodes.
Yeah.
And...
he's like that dude in Heroes, but like doesn't just die like a bitch right away.
Yeah, and so she's like, "Hey, bud, I'm sending some friends over, and can you just like sit down and chill so we can figure this out?" And then he was like, "Nope, explode again," and killed all the SHIELD people who were coming toward him, and like created more craters.
You know what helped him? A decent shield.
You know, they didn't go back to those SpaghettiOs, though, so I wonder.
he puts it in his pocket.
Are they still there? He killed all the SHIELD agents?
Yeah.
SpaghettiOs lasted another round.
It's so funny, too, because it looks like he's sort of reaching out to them at one point. Like, he just wants the SpaghettiOs.
He forces them.
That's all he wanted, and the SHIELD had to show up.
Well, they might have been cooked from his first nuclear blast.
Oh, they were warm.
Like, he goes through all the
That's why he did the blast.
Or he goes through all the trouble making the microwave and everything, and like it just turned out, oh shit, they're cooked already.
Means to an end.
They're the alphabet ones, you guys. You don't understand how much he wanted that can.
And it's at this point that the events of All New 30 kind of take over. So All New X-Men issue 30, sort of a day in the life story that gets ruined by some shit at the end, kind of. Like, well, at least some like. The gravity of the day changes. So first part, we find out Angel and Laura be fucking.
They do be.
No, I don't think they do drugs, you hippie.
You don't think Angel smokes weed? At the very least,
no, I'm just
he does
painkillers.
Yeah, he's definitely more of a painkiller guy than a weed guy.
Yeah.
Maybe when he becomes Angel... That dude's probably smoking some weed.
Oh, totally. He's more of a painkiller and wine type of guy.
So they show you like their night basically. They were all like clubbing, and then some chick was like hitting on Warren, and Laura gets all mad, and then some racist punk biker guy maybe gets all mad at Warren, and then they beat him up, and it's a big fight, and then they fly away, and they're like, "Oh, that's romantic." Even the racist guy kind of looks up at them like, oh, that's cute. Like as Warren flies away with Laura in his arms.
This dude's nipple ring got pushed off, or ripped off.
Yeah.
That's important.
I guess.
You guess.
You
When have
guess?
you ever seen that happen?
It's important in his life.
How would you like it if Justin just ripped off your nipple rings?
I don't have any, so
Not anymore.
I would be really confused. So, yeah. They're in bed, and there's a whole, like, hey, Laura, I like you. And she's like, I don't deserve to be liked. And he's like, no, but I like you. And she's like, well, why do you like me? And he's like, I don't need a reason, cuz. And, you know, cute.
I always liked the interactions with her before she got, like, some of the new stuff kind of changed how well she interacted with people, the new, all-new Wolverine series. But he's like, I like when you smile. She's like, don't be weird.
Yeah.
And now I'd like to give a special shout out
Stop ruining Justin's career.
to Marvel Unlimited.
You guys do a great job. Thank you.
Fuck you, you done good. Because these next pages are so fucked up, it's insane.
Devin's saying you should hire him to order your pages.
I would be down. You won't. But I would do the work, but whatever. Because, oh my god, they're bad. But what happens is Jean is out with Emma, like, in the clearing from the school, and Emma's all like, hit me. I'm gonna train you, so I need you to hit me. And Jean's like, I don't wanna, and I don't care, I don't wanna be here, and I don't know what your deal is. And also, like, this is a waste of time. And Emma's like, well, I'm the only person who's capable of training you, and you agreed to this. And Jean's like, I didn't agree to shit. I was kind of just told you were going to train me, and I don't like that you don't like me, and I don't understand why you don't like me, so...
Yeah, you're just mad that your ex-boyfriend dicks down future me.
And she's all like, hit me. And Jean's like, I know what's going to happen. I try to hit you, you beat the shit out of me because you're more experienced, and then I get humiliated or whatever, and that's not important right now. Plus, I'm super powerful now. There's no point to any of this. You can't do anything to me.
Yeah.
And she's like, see me fucking your boy.
Well, I like that because Jean was playing that mind game. Like, you're just upset at me. She's like, I'm not upset at you. She's like, you're upset at the older me.
Yeah.
And now there's only me here. You're upset because your true love is Scott, and Scott's true love was the older me. She's like, oh, yeah? Well, here's me banging him.
Yeah.
Every time, just on repeat.
And then she's even like, oh, I'm a kid.
Yeah, she's trying to
What
play
are you
that
doing?
card. Inappropriate.
And she's like, I ain't even done. And she just keeps more scenes and more scenes and more scenes.
I like in my head, it's like any mid 2000s video that you would YouTube where the whole thing is just a montage set to bring me to life.
Like, can you imagine just how disturbing that would be though? Someone is like, hey, want to see a sex tape of me and your future husband? No? Too bad.
I like
just
that
forces.
they included that scene where Scott's like, and I chose you, that was in between the panels.
Yeah, and that seems to be the inciting moment too. That like Jean's like, you know what? Fuck this, and she like freaks out, and she's like, I'm not even mad that you're showing me that you banging the guy I like. I'm mad that you're still trying to make me mad, and also that ain't true.
I'm just mad because this is inappropriate.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to see this kind of stuff.
And also, between the panels sounds like an Inside the Actor studio, but like for superheroes.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
so she gets all like psionic pink stuff. She flings Emma away, and then she turns into sort of an adult variation of her like self. Like she does like what she thinks her version of the
It was the new X-Men.
the new X-Men.
What
Jean
Emma
Grey.
showed her. She kind of used that.
Yeah, she used that image, but like it was a green shirt instead of a black shirt.
Also, this is basically the same thing from those Pete Holmes videos where he is Professor X firing everybody.
Yeah.
It's basically that same scene where Jean makes him see a bunch of dicks in his head. And he's like, oh, I think they were docking.
That's funny. Well, and then she like straddles Emma, which doesn't give mixed signals at all. Like Kitty should really be out here separating these two.
Although you're saying joining.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. And then Emma's just like, hit me. like she just keeps it going, and Beast is like, I think we should get Professor Kitty. Cut to Professor Kitty is dating a hologram.
Very
Also,
important. Were you about to talk about the cuckoos with the telekinesis?
Well, what I was going to say is, for some reason, every damn time they have lunch at the school, they're all eating different things. Nobody ever cooks a big meal for everybody. It's always just grab whatever you can fucking find, because Beast has a giant-ass sandwich and Bobby has a bowl of soup.
Yeah.
Those are Fruit Loops.
Well, he has a bowl of something.
That's a
You have
soup,
canonical
right?
proof on that?
Well, yeah, they're literally dripping down his forehead.
It's SpaghettiOs, man. They're all the same color.
Yeah.
Either way, he should really be careful, because, like, if those are too hot, he'd just melt.
Also, they show him wearing the bowl, and then a few panels later, he's eating it.
Well, I wanted to point that out because sometimes it gets mentioned that Emma has telekinesis and then it doesn't.
Oh, yeah. And
But the cuckoos lifted the bowl and dropped it on his head.
Yeah.
So they have, like, minor stuff, but nothing, it's not noteworthy enough to actually use in a fight or anything.
I mean, I guess what is noteworthy is that they are having a picnic watching what's going on between Jean and Emma kind of eavesdropping.
They're on a picnic blanket.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Bobby, his whole, he wants to gossip with the cuckoos, because they have all the best information, so he's getting in real close with them.
And so they go to get Kitty, though, and she's talking to Peter Quill, who's a hologram, and she's all like, you're cute. And he's like, no, you're cute. And she's like, but you're cute. And he's like, no, you're cute.
Pretty much.
In my head, all right, you got to follow me on this. You know how, when you're a kid, and you got, a shiny card, and you got all excited? So she's been, collecting Peters, and she finally got a holographic.
It's funny. And she's like, all my friends think I'm weird because they think I'm dating a hologram. And he's like, kind of are.
Yeah.
So this is the first instance, right, that we actually see them interacting this way?
Yeah.
They might do it in Guardians.
But I mean,
before,
for X-Men readers.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing where he's like, I'm all the way in space. You can come hang out with me here. And she's like, I hate space. And he's like, because the bullet. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I only heard that 1,000 times.
Right. Won't shut up about it.
Well, he could have easily been like, well, I don't like Earth because, my parent issues. And she's like, yeah, we keep hearing about that, too.
Yeah. And then, and I do kind of like the dig he takes at her right at the end when Beast and Iceman are like, you got to come out here because it's Jean. She's going all crazy. And he's like, hey, so got to go, but if you die by the Phoenix, the last thing I said to you was told you.
Right. Then dips out.
Dips out, yeah. And then Iceman, all salty, just like, can't believe you dumped me to date a hologram. And more of her telling him to shut up. So, that dynamic's still pretty strong.
Yeah.
And then she goes out there, and everyone's kind of freaked out. And they see that Emma and Jean are just sitting there, and they're clearly having some sort of psychic battle or something, and everyone's just speculating from the outside. And then they start giggling, and then they're all even more mortified because, oh shit, oh no, they've bonded, they're friends now.
Yeah, well,
that's scary.
Have you ever had two of your exes really get along?
Well, I'm sure, for Scott,
it's a terrifying feeling to be like, ooh, they're too close.
But Scott's devoid of this whole issue, basically. And I mean, we find out why literally right after this. So the Blackbird shows up, and they're like, oh shit, it's them. How do they know we're here? And it turns out to be Beast, Iceman, and Storm. And they're like, we need Scott Summers. Because we're reading Xavier's will.
I mean, it makes sense, too, that they're not battling because Emma's powers are broken currently. So I don't know how much of a battle it would be.
Right. Well, I think it's just more instruction of how to.
It's a mental fun war.
Well, I mean, the cuckoos couldn't get in there, so must have been something going on. But then again, Jean could have been keeping them out, so.
Could have been a psychic scissor, And it's how do you fit another? You can't. It's already locked.
Yeah, they weren't invited.
You can't put another.
So I like that the limitations in their head are limited because of physical room.
Anyway, and I actually really like the transition though from this point back into issue 24 of Uncanny, because on the next page from where Matthew blows up S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that stuff, it moves on to this exact moment from the end of issue 30 of, Storm, Beast, and Iceman coming out of the Blackbird, and you see that, like, in one panel, you have Beast, Iceman, and, like, young Beast, young Iceman, and Mindy, who were the ones who were grouped together in the all-new book, and you have, in one panel, Jean and Emma, and it's like everyone's just sort of in the same exact groups that they just were from that other issue. So it just felt like tight continuity. Yeah, every time I see that, like
it all brings together at that point.
The only one who's missing from that all new, who's suddenly here now, is Punk Dazzler, who they just sort of splashed in there. She's not even like in a single panel. She's just
it had to be a surprise.
Yeah.
This all new art was pretty good though. I just gotta say, because when Jean and Emma were talking, they got some good facial expressions going on there.
Yeah, it's like they're professionals or some shit.
Yeah.
Faces?
I mean, of art.
Well,
No.
it's kind of
I was like, are you congratulating Emma and Jean on how good their faces looked?
yeah, they did it. But no, not often. A lot of times it's like the same kind of faces, like angry or stern. But they were actually doing like giggling and that kind of stuff, and they did a good variation of faces there.
And so, yeah, they're like, hey, we need Scott. Where is he? They're like, so about that. And then you see that Cyclops sleeps in the nude.
Who doesn't?
And
Yeah, you weirdo.
he's startled by Storm just being like, hey, buddy. And he's like, who the fuck's that? She's like, Aurora. Aurora. It's your buddy, Aurora. Aurora.
Just call me Roro.
And he's like, oh shit, what the fuck? And she's like, calm down. And he's like, first of all, I'm naked. Also, secret lair. Also, I need my glasses because I got only just like, because he sleeps with the night mask.
So he's naked and blind. That's all.
Exactly.
I'm pretty vulnerable right now, guys. So just give me a minute.
Just rips the blanket off from him. Oh god.
I mean, she could have been a bigger dick and woken him up with lightning.
And it's
thunder.
literally, it's literally everyone in his doorway.
Yeah.
And then they're all outside, like in the next page, and they're like, we don't want any. Go away. And it's like, it's not... Oh, it's not a request. We're
Whatever you're
telling
selling, we're not buying.
No soliciting. Did you even read the sign?
And they're like, you have to come to the thing so we can read the will. And he's like, I don't want any of it. Whatever he left me, I don't want it. And Beast is like, well, how big of you to not want the blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, what do you want from the guy?
He's just saying that because he wants the thing.
Because also, if he's given it, like, they're mad that he may get something. And they're mad that he even has the awareness of, like, I don't deserve anything. Like,
It doesn't matter what he does.
it
They're mad at
doesn't...
him.
Exactly. They fucking hate him for just existing.
So you might as well just take it.
Yeah. All right, fine. You wanted me to take it? Move. Get out of my house.
Yeah. And ultimately, they decide, okay, we'll go, but I'm not flying with you guys. I fucking got a magic bus.
Yeah, he's like, I'll take the bus.
But thank you for coming, and peace the fuck out. And then, like, they do a weird close-up of Wolverine, who's just, like, scowls down at him, and then they fly off. And he's like, all right, well... I think at one point, too, he's like, if this is a trick, man, that's real low. Even for you guys. And Magic is like, nah, I teleported there and back, and She-Hulk is playing a game on her phone.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird. Although it'd be funnier if she was like, she's popping willies in Xavier's chair.
I like the idea, though, that it is a trick, but it isn't like they want to trap Cyclops to fight him or something. He just shows up, and they're like, there's nothing here. You look stupid.
Yeah.
You're not in the will.
There is no will, you idiot.
There was a whole thing, too, where Iceman was like, so did you, like, put yourself in a jail cell ironically or subconsciously? And Beast is just like, subconsciously.
They just got him there to fix those underwear drawers that they messed up originally.
They what?
Remember when Magic was like, yeah, we could teleport there and switch around their underwear drawers? Oh, that was the Avengers, yeah.
Right.
That was such a weird reference to just pull out and be like,
I was thinking
they're
it was
gonna
the
know what I'm
X-Men,
talking
yeah.
about.
But that would be the reverse, is that they trick someone else to come out from their secret base just to be like, and you did it for no reason.
Now fix your
Way to waste your time.
fix your shit here.
And back to Will. Oh no.
Who?
Who the fuck's Will?
Big Willie.
No, nobody.
Big Willie style.
I was thinking of Matt, and I was like,
Were you thinking of the Will?
Yeah, the Will. I looked at. Here's the problem. I capitalized the W, but because it's in front of the sentence, Jesus. And I was like, wait, what? Anyway, there is a nice moment though with Emma, where because after Storm's group leaves, Emma goes to Scott and is like, "You don't gotta go. I'll go for you." Like this is kind of a fucked up thing, and so she's being kind. Like so, every once in a while you see these moments where like there's still that caring, maybe romantic side of the fact that they were just a couple for such a long time, and the fact that they're not, but still like have feelings for each other.
It's definitely there. That's why they get that bickering kind of. Emma
Yeah.
kind of goes back and forth on whether she wants to be loving or mad at him.
Yeah. And ultimately they decide, all right, all the students are staying here because some of them wanted to go, like Jean wanted to go and Young Beast wanted to go, and they're like, nah, everyone else is staying here, just the staff basically. We're gonna go. So see ya, and they just disappear.
That's where Dazzler shows up out of nowhere.
Right. She's like, I need to show off my punk.
Yeah, I'm
side."
punk now, you guys. I like too that nobody is like, oh, did you change something?
It's like what you were saying. They didn't want to mention it. Like,
Yeah.
is it always like this?
It's like, did we find her like that?
Something different?
Was that on purpose, or is that did that happen to her?
You get no
Are we
shoes?
supposed to ask? Would it
she-
offend her if we ask?
Like, does she like it, or is she like, should we say something?
Yeah, but then it's super awkward when she's like, no one's going to say nothing about my hair?
It looks good, Dazzler.
Yeah. And then, so they teleport away, and they're like, wait, what happens if, like, they don't come back? And Celeste's like, well, then we have to repopulate the mutant race, don't we? Like, just
Start taking
jump
the
into
clothes off.
conclusions. Yeah.
all the girls were the ones that seemed like down.
Yeah, it was her, and then Ava was like, yeah.
It's like, alrighty then.
Alrighty then. And then, what's his face? Fabio was like, you guys are scaring me.
Triage would have been all about it.
He would have been.
Yeah, he's actually the only one who's not really shown.
Yeah, he's not there.
And then back at the Xavier mansion,
He's already
I
got his
guess,
pants off.
even though it's the Jean Grey one.
Oh, yeah, here's where we find out Charles' real problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is no problem. So they're all there in the study, and She-Hulk opens the will and starts reading it. And Xavier right away is like, just so you all know.
Just so y'all know, my middle name is Francis. Like, that explains
Deadpool's been
it.
looking for him all along.
Yeah.
So that's why he's a dick.
Yeah.
Middle name's Francis.
Yeah. And then Mystique, fucking Emma starts cracking up because, of course, married to
Francis.
Mystique.
Oh.
Well, why everyone? It's weird that everyone's surprised though when they just dealt with baby Xavier and Razzleberry. she kept Ray's, and he had that whole thing about how so smart, kept me, then I killed her and took her fucking identity or whatever. So Wolverine, kind of a dick. The guy he talked so much shit about.
Really? That's your
caring about.
conclusion after all these episodes is that sometimes
his
Wolverine's
wife.
a jerk?
It was probably consensual.
Next he's going to be like, Xavier, not that nice either.
I can see Xavier.
No, you know Xavier? The real cuckold.
Yeah, I was about to say I could see him just sitting in this chair like, yes.
I'm more surprised that his dick still works.
It's because it doesn't.
Did you just roll it up inside of her? Or?
No. It doesn't. So he has to see someone else do it.
Yeah.
I know.
What he did was have like a syringe pull the semen from his balls, and then it had it artificially inseminated.
Because the balls
into
work, but
semen.
not the dick.
Yeah. He creates the semen. Push it out.
You guys know a lot about Xavier's genitals.
I'm just guessing.
I'll let you know that the carpets match the drapes.
I think it means shaved. Ew.
Probably does.
All right, so issue number 25. And this is where Xavier sort of starts talking about Matthew and getting to know that kid.
Yeah, you can't do a normal will like a normal person. No.
Yeah, no. He has to tell you that, okay, so
R2-D2 rolls out.
that chick who just fucked with all your guys' lives, that's my wife.
Turned into fucking Borat. My wife.
My wife. And then he's like, and by the way, there's another thing I need you guys to take care of. There's this guy, Matthew, fucking crazy.
I done goofed once again.
You guys should totally kill him or something.
It's crazy. I'm like Marvel Unlimited.
Fantastic father figure.
You'd go
Are you saying that Marvel Unlimited is your daddy?
Maybe.
You'd go so far as to compliment Xavier to better that relationship. Okay.
He means that Xavier has an amazing figure for his father body. That's how he's a father figure.
Yeah.
Like
Everyone
a dad
knows.
bod, but it's the father figure.
Everyone knows that atrophied
That
legs
is-
are sexy.
Those do mean the same thing.
So, Xavier starts telling them about how one day, when he was scanning for evildoers like Magneto with Cerebro, as he does, he found a powerful mutant and was like, well, I gotta go check him out. Seems pretty young.
Well, they're just manifesting.
I gotta get to him before Magneto does. You know, and turns him.
Yeah.
So he gets there, and there's a bunch of rubble, and it's just a kid playing with some toys, and Xavier is almost killed because he understands stranger danger.
Yeah.
He literally says, "You're a stranger. I don't know you. That's my purse."
You gotta stop referencing that one episode of King of the Hill.
And then explodes like energy around him, and Xavier goes flying, and he's like, "Well, that almost killed me."
I'll put this in my will.
Just for some reason, it reminds me of the Community episode. Like, I feel like this is how Xavier's brain is thinking when he's like, you know, I got into a fight one time, and then the guy punched me, and at first I was like, ow, but then I was like, this is a story.
You know what? We did gloss over the fact that when She-Hulk was reading the will, there was a little device. That device turned out to be some Shi'ar hologram thing that Beast turned on. And so a hologram of Xavier, which apparently is a much better quality than whatever Peter Quill has.
Yeah, I was saying that R2-D2 just came up and help me, X-Men, you're my only hope.
Well, to
Yeah.
be fair, this is pre-recorded. This is live stream.
Okay.
It's like YouTube videos look a lot better than Zoom.
Yeah, fair enough. So that's who's like literally Xavier is talking right now, like on behalf of his will, and it's like taking all the X-Men aback because they're like watching Xavier speak. And so by this point, after he brings up almost being killed because a child knew what stranger danger was,
Yep. He's like, I got a bad feeling about this guy.
Scott gets kind of overwhelmed and is like, I need a break. Is there like a pause button? I gotta go. Maybe getting flashbacks of like when he felt like
Stranger danger.
yeah. And then even Bobby was like, I hate to admit it, but Cyclops was right.
Yeah.
We need a break. So they do it again.
Yep.
And then he goes outside, Scott does, and Storm follows him, and she's like, hey, bet you wish you didn't kill Xavier now, huh?
It's like, did you not see how he used to creep on children? I think I made a good choice.
Well, no, not even that. Like, I don't know how many times this guy has to say he's sorry, and also wishes he never did it, and
Until he dies.
he wasn't in control, and like, because he's done it this entire run basically to everyone, and everyone's just like, hey, remember that time you killed Xavier?
Yeah, it's literally until he dies.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop being like this till he dies. It's ridiculous.
And then and he's just like, want to stop it? Want to stop a storm? And she's like, all right, I guess. So Mystique, huh? That was crazy.
Also, everybody's being huge dicks to him for somebody who might have the power to kick them out.
Yeah, but he even brings up that, like, well, I mean, if they're married, what if he left the school to Mystique? And Storm's like, I would die before she steps foot on the lawn again. And he's all like, I wouldn't even let that happen. It felt like he was one-upping her a little bit.
I'll kill you before you can stop her.
No, I think he just meant that, he'd stop Mystique first.
He's like, my guns reach farther. So
right?
if she gets into the state, she's dead.
But it's weird because it's like they're arguing and then they sort of, or like she's insulting him and then they sort of bond over the fact that they both hate Mystique. And that's weird. And then Kitty sees Kurt and they hug. That was a whole page, basically, where he's like, hey, I'm alive. And she's like, hey, I'm not in a bullet.
Yeah.
And they hug.
What's up?
Which, yeah, is a big thing. Like, the last time Kurt saw her, she was a ghost because she was just brought back to Earth and taken out of the bullet. But she couldn't talk to or touch anybody. And then he died via arm through his chest. So by the time she was better, she couldn't see Kurt. And so this is like the first time they're like, hey, guy.
This is so weird. I'm not in a bullet. You have no extra appendages shooting through you. Get some coffee?
Right? I mean, we're only talking during Xavier's will reading, but... And then,
crazy seeing you here.
Right? And then Beast and Dazzler, they're talking, and he's all like, so you're not in the disco anymore, huh? And she's like, yeah, I'm over my old stuff. I've gone in a new direction. He's like...
I'm more into Taylor Swift's angsty stuff.
And he's like, I mean, why not come back to the school? And she's like, I gotta fight something. And he's like, all right, well then, tell me when the revolution starts. Or not even, like, it's not, like he says, you will tell me when Scott starts his revolution. It's not even a question or a request.
He's commanding her.
It's like, that's exactly what she needs, is someone overbearingly telling her what to do after her life was sort of taken from her for a time.
By somebody who was also blue and
right?
really controlling.
And then they go and resume the live post video recorded screening of Xavier. I don't know.
It's Xavier's YouTube. Where he's like, what's up, guys? Welcome to my Will and Testament. We've now reached 500 followers.
So they go back to record the recording of the will, and Xavier starts to get into expressing his fears of Matthew, realizing the power that this little boy has, and Xavier sees the potential destruction that one mutant with so much power will cause, and how that is just damning to his entire mission, right? Like, he wants peaceful coexistence between humans and mutants, and it's like one mutant who can't control themselves and has this much power of destruction will give all the justification needed to anybody anti-mutant, which at this point is like everybody. Because he also brings up how, what is he going to do? Like he expresses, like, I at one point thought about just killing the kid. And I thought, all right, well, I can't do that. But then what else am I supposed to do? Like, turn him into the Avengers or, one of those groups, because I don't trust them. I can read their minds. Yeah. They don't trust us. They don't like us.
Cap seems to be real angry about mutants a lot.
Right? And I mean, I guess this is a point that's proof that that's always been the case with that guy. That even Xavier's like, yikes, racist.
Yeah, well, and there's also like there's even the alternate timeline stuff where he is a mutant hunter.
Is there?
Yeah, it's the Age of X that you always yell at me for. In that universe, he's a mutant hunter.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't remember that part of it specifically.
I mean, I think there were several Age of X stuff. So.
Oh, probably. If it was like a tie-in thing, I didn't read all the tie-ins. But I don't know if there were tie-ins. Either way.
Yeah.
He starts explaining to them that he didn't see any other option than to shut down the mutant power that the kid had so as to preserve the potential of peaceful coexistence.
I like the idea too that he really he genuinely thought that in a good manner, and then he was like, "What's the creepiest way I could do this?"
Yep, and turns into a child, and so a second version of Baby Xavier basically approaches Matthew, and he's got his own toy, and he asks Matthew about his toys, and
Got weird.
All mine vibrate.
and
Are you okay? Come on.
sorry, it's just I saw this and I was laughing, and then I realized you said all mine vibrate. And he got the toy from Japan.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyway, Matthew's like, "Hey, want to see something cool?" Because Xavier's like, "So where's your parents?" And he's like, but watch this. And he smashes his toys together, causes another explosion, and that almost kills Xavier again.
Also, the kid version of him, did he give himself eyeshadow? Because he's got wings on his eyes.
No, they're lashes.
Oh yeah.
No, but he's got he's done some shit to him. He's wearing makeup in his head.
Yeah. So anyway, the kid's like, "I don't know. I think I might have killed my parents because they're yelling at me, and then they disappeared. And I thought they'd come back, and they didn't come back."
The kid version of Xavier is still bald.
Yeah.
Couldn't even imagine. It's like I couldn't even imagine myself with hair.
And it's like, why Matthew should have been skeptical from the jump. Just fucking, who's this weird ass bald kid?
Bald kid with all these vibrating toys and the weird eye makeup.
So anyway,
It's Gundams
Xavier. First of all, it's a Monsteroso.
Oh, that thing's totally a Gundam, and you know it.
I know.
It looks exactly like that one you have over there.
They both vibrate.
So Xavier admits to what he did was he kept tabs on him every day with Cerebro, and he kept visiting him, and he just started locking away the boy's powers behind psychic blockers in his mind.
That never went bad before.
I bet
Yeah.
you cut out a couple memories while I was in there, too.
And, he starts, again, he's justifying himself about, how he had to do it. He couldn't trust anyone else to, the boy
Yeah.
to go to anyone else. And
He's like,
he couldn't
you
just kill him.
can't, you can't trust that much power to somebody who went through as much childhood trauma as I put that kid through.
And then, as the hologram's speaking, Scott's like, this fucking hypocrite, and starts yelling about how...
The contrast of how he says it and how you say it, because he's like, "That fucking hypocrite," and you're like, "You hypocrite."
And he starts making a ruckus, just being mad that everything Xavier preached to them. He just starts saying all the stuff that we've been saying at the start of this podcast, frankly.
Yep.
He's just come around to seeing it.
It's hard with the
With
visor.
I thought you were going to say with the one eye being a Cyclops. No, but yeah.
We've worn those visors, and they cut off a lot of your depth perception.
Yeah. Yay! Everything to him is still rose-colored,
Yeah, we've
It's
done that joke out here.
So, and I feel rightfully so, especially rereading this, everyone else is like, "Hey man, fucking chill." Cause he's just yelling, and Beast is like, "Scott," and Storm is like,
Scott!
Storm's like, "Scott, stop." And even though these digs are kind of beating a dead horse, this point was kind of funny, where Bobby was like, "Hey, I know. How about you kill him again?"
Yeah, that'd show him. It's so weird though too. This is why I think Wolverine got real high before any of this because all that's going on, and he looks for any excuse to fight with Scott, and he's just like, "Hey, you guys all seem mad."
Yeah, he's like, I think I'm behaving quite well right now.
Yeah, he's like,
I just want somebody to notice how nice I'm being.
Well, probably a scroll. Went over.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Well,
then,
he knows he's about to be dead, so he's accepted.
Yeah, that healing factor isn't as good as it was. So.
Yeah.
So Bobby says that, and Scott shoots him the fuck out of the building because he don't play that shit, I guess.
Yeah, which is 2 weeks in a row that we covered somebody getting shot out of a building.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you want to sound like Wolverine? This is what happens to Wolverine. And Wolverine's like, yeah, I know. That's why I say shit.
You talk shit, get hit. That's why I shut the fuck up. My healing factor's not what it used to be.
That's actually a great point. It's only because he knows he's not going to heal from anything where he's like, I should probably be chiller.
Yeah.
Keep his mouth closed.
Well, now every time he releases his claws now, too, he's got, like, for a week, he's like, Jesus.
Right?
Well, plus, Scott's smart. That's Iceman. He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's not like he's blasting, you know.
Well,
somebody
sort
else
of,
out
because Bobby is, like, pissed off. So everyone is like, Scott, calm the fuck down.
Well, yeah, he's pissed, but not hurt. I mean, like, he's not going to face any damages.
Right, but I mean, he comes back in and he's straight up like, hey, I blast me again and I freeze your colon.
That's a good threat.
It is a good threat. Like, you try pooping with a frozen colon. A frozen.
Frozen colon. You can't poop with a frozen colon. Frozen colon sounds like those popsicles that you'd have when you were a little kid. They came in like packs of 200, and they're just long tubes that are filled up with juice that you freeze. Those are frozen colons.
You know, it's kind of funny too because Bobby says you do the math, so he's basically saying you won't be able to poop.
Yeah.
Like, so even in Bobby's threat, it's kind of a poop joke. That's kind of funny.
Or would you shatter your colon when you try to take a shit?
Yeah, maybe that too. I mean,
even worse.
That's the worst part of it.
Why don't you go talk to Shatterstar and ask him how that feels?
He was already shitting out nano sentinels.
Yeah, so they go back to listening after everyone's like, Scott, simmer down, man. You're being ridiculous. They go back to the hologram, and Xavier continues to talk about how, and you know, one of the times he goes to check on Matthew in the psychic blocks. He finds him, and he's like, "Hey, who are you?" And he's like, "What? I'm your friend.
I'm your buddy.
I'm your buddy, Chucky. You know." I had the toys. They vibrate. The buzz buzz.
They call him Buzz Lightyear.
And he's like, yeah, now, like, who are you for real? Like, so apparently his powers are seeing through the psychic disguise that Xavier put up, and he's like, well, I guess that's done with, and just takes off the hat, and he's like this.
I like that he had to actually wear the hat, though.
Yeah.
Like, he's just too uncreative to think of the hat, so he had to put the hat on.
It's a real hat.
Either that, or every time he talked to the kid, he didn't do anything psychically and was just wearing a hat.
Like,
He was like, I'm a little child.
You know what'd be funny, too, is if Matthew, it wasn't his powers that, like, broke through Xavier's, like, psychic disguise. It was just logic. He's like, hey, I know you don't got cancer. How come all these years you haven't even sort of grown hair? And he's like, shit, found out.
I've been found out.
I done goof.
Your head has gotten huge and that hat still fits.
What are you, the Watcher?
Yeah, and so at this point, and it's sort of like Scott should feel a little embarrassed right now, because at this point, Xavier's like, and then he consented.
Yeah, and also, that kid put his head right on his lap.
Yeah. Well, he was like, so my parents, did I kill them? And Xavier was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, but it's not consent if you're a
fucked him
minor.
up.
Yeah, he's not even 18.
And then he was like, you in that chair, did I do that? And he was like, nah, he didn't do that.
I just ride this for fun.
And he was like, Well, I don't want any of it. This is Matthew speaking to Xavier. I don't want any of it. Take all the power and just take all the memories. I want it all gone. So I guess this is like Xavier's own justification. He's like gone through this whole thing of like, it's so terrible. I did the thing that was against all my moral values and everything I've ever taught you guys.
But see, guys, the kid was cool with it.
Yeah, he ended up being cool with it. Then Xavier gets to his point. He's like, look, so I'm dead. I mean, you're watching this, so I done goofed.
I kept rolling towards... or no, he's walking. I kept walking towards Cyclops.
Well, he doesn't even know that, so for him, he's like, I've rolled on the edge of the line all my life, and I knew one day I'd tip over, and that's what happened.
Who stairs on the other side?
I lived my life on the edge of the stairs.
The staircase.
It's like, I don't even need the wheelchair. I'm just a big Limp Bizkit fan.
And so he's just like, so what I need is for you, Scott, and Logan to form a team with, like, Rachel or, I mean, whoever's your psychic person nowadays. Why the fuck would I know?
It could be Jean again, for all I know.
And you go and you do the thing I can't do. And make sure those walls are up and that person is still dumb and not knowing that they have the strongest mutant powers in all of existence.
And he's like, also, my will is triggered to send out to you a year after I die.
Yeah.
So hopefully in that time,
Well, no.
shit's been cool.
Not a year. That's the crazy thing.
Then he should have checked up on that kid more because he's been out for a year.
No,
blowing
it can't
shit
be.
up.
Because a year ago was the Skrull War.
Yeah,
it
it
was
said a
Skrull
year
invasion.
ago he was blowing stuff up. Matthew Malloy went back a year.
No, it went back a year. That's what traumatized him. He blew stuff up in, like, now. Like, because when he started blowing stuff up, he blew up,
Yeah, what I was saying is that
his
Xavier
sister-in-law.
doesn't check on him nearly enough. So, like, if Xavier's been dead for, like, 5-6 months at this point,
Yeah.
first of all, took a long time for the will to get to them still. And also, he didn't check up on that dude for, like, 6 months that he was alive.
Didn't you say he checked on him daily with Cerebro?
Yeah. And the dude has been wandering, blowing shit up. You didn't notice?
I guess. I don't know. I don't think that was what was happening, though. I
Well,
think
he was
he's
an
blowing
adult. He
stuff up
stopped-
now. I
he's-
think it's just happening in real time.
He stopped checking up on him once he became an adult. That's what it was.
Once he's like, all they're doing is arguing about bed and breakfasts, he checked out.
Of the bed and breakfast?
No, Xavier. He got tired of spying on him psychically.
I think it's
like-
because he was no longer a little boy.
Either that or he's like, these white bread ass people, all they do is go to bed and breakfasts. I'm tired of looking in on this shit.
Yeah. So, cut to Matthew out of control.
Lots of debris.
And lots of debris. And lightning for some reason. And
Yeah, he was kind of making lightning when he was destroying some stuff earlier.
Yeah. So, it's a guy who explodes a whole lot.
Just busting everywhere, that guy.
And that's their original sin, is that Xavier just turned out to be a hypocrite all along.
Also, not nearly his first sin.
Right?
Everybody else is like sins of their origin.
He's done so many worse things. And, like, they're decided, for original sin, what's going to be the worst secret of Xavier? He fucking went against his own code, but, like, also had a lot of reasons to.
Yeah, like, this would... and I think the story was already out by this point, but, like, Deadly Genesis would fit in great right here for being original sin instead.
Yeah. Because that's straight up a really fucked thing that he did.
Yeah, and like I was saying, everybody else's original sin story, it has to do with their origin. This has nothing to do with Xavier's origin.
No. Because he even says, like, while you guys were out, you know, fighting Magneto and doing stuff, I did this behind your backs.
Yeah. They'd been doing it for... Like, Matt Murdock, his was his parents. Like, they from way when he was a baby, when they fought. And then, like, Spider-Man, it was about the spider that bit him. And Thor, it was about his sister. Like, but this is just... Xavier made a hard decision once. And also, nobody saw shit with the Watcher. The Watcher doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, the Watcher's
It's a
dead.
loose tie-in.
Very loose.
Everyone needed to be a part of it, I guess.
It has nothing to do with the book, pretty much.
Well, yeah, because right now Wolverine and Emma would be gone. They're a part of what's happening.
Well, Wolverine's in everything
Yeah.
at the same time, so.
Not soon. Soon he's not going to be in shit. Except everybody that is named Wolverine will be in everything.
Yeah, and they'll find another Wolverine to replace him.
He's the only guy who's died and had more books while he was dead.
I like how they were like, we're going to kill Wolverine and he's going to stay dead. And people thought that meant like no Wolverine books. And they're like, no, fucking psych. There are 4 times as many Wolverine books now.
We got old Wolverine books. We got young lady Wolverine books. We have one X-Men book with alternate Wolverine. We have another one.
We have a Weapon X book that has several Wolverine-like characters.
Yeah, they're like, we have Laura Kinney. We have Doc N. We have Jimmy Hudson.
Yeah, he'd
And
be
we
docking. All right.
And we have Old Man Logan. We've never had more Wolverine.
The Old Man Logan was the only problem I had. Well, and Jimmy Hudson. Because how can you get rid of Wolverine and then bring Old Man Logan? That's Wolverine.
Yeah.
Just an older version.
Well, it's an
technicalities.
alternate universe version of him. Because it's already stuff that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, but he acts just like Wolverine.
Plus, successful movie, you know?
Yeah, but it's not like Decan or Laura, who are different people who actually have different personalities.
Laura's a clone.
Yeah, but she has...
Yeah, but she has different...
I know, but technically she's the most of Wolverine, besides maybe Old Man Logan. But
I mean, yeah, technically. Not really. She's a girl.
all right,
There's a different chromosome there.
it's one chromosome off.
That's all
I'm
it takes.
starting to wonder if...
He's also fucked Angel.
I'm starting to wonder if Logan named his son after his favorite sex move.
Keep reading Krakoa to find out.
Oh, jeez.
Oh. Because he'd be... Deccan.
No, now I'm thinking he's exploding like Squidward. Krakatoa!
I think that every time I read anything with
When he
Krakoa.
said it's his favorite sex move on Krakoa.
He screams that every time he comes. Oh, speaking of coming, you should come to our social media pages. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Everything is at Mex-Men Podcast.
And we like our own stuff. Mainly because I forget that I'm a part of the Mex-Men thing, and when I see it on my social media, my personal one, I hit like, and it says Mex-Men liked this. So that's how that happens.
yeah.
So if you ever see that we liked our own posts, it was an accident.
Yeah, it was that Justin put up something I thought was funny, and then it just looks like we're blowing ourselves.
Well, that's all right. I go on my other one and like it, so there's that.
I always do see that.
So wait a minute, I do blow myself.
I do always see that because I get the updates. It's always like, Justin Gomez has liked your post on Instagram. Like, he posted that himself.
Of course. I'll be the first one to like it. And I should comment first on that.
Oh, yeah. Of course you liked it. You posted it.
Exactly. I wouldn't post it if I didn't like it. Jeez.
Yeah, and also we have shirts. And we have a bunch of different things that you could wear or, like, put on a phone or, like, a computer or just on you while you're sleeping. 'Cause
Yeah.
we have blankets.
Go to TeePublic. It's where you can buy T-shirts or phone cases, which are like T-shirts for your phone.
Yeah. You should get a sweatshirt and tie it around your waist.
Or your phone.
Get a phone case and tie it around your phone.
Get a shirt and just wrap your phone in it.
Get a phone case and type a T-shirt.
This has gotten to the point where it's just stupid. So yeah, go check out our TeePublic and all our social medias. The link for everything is in the show notes, and that's for today.